It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon or the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching on this last Monday of 2024. President Bongbong Marcos has vetoed 194 billion pesos worth of items from the 2025 national budget. Among these were 26 billion from the DPWH and 168 billion pesos allocated under unprogrammed appropriations. Marcos said these items did not align with the administration's priorities. Today is the 128th death anniversary of Jose Rizal. President Marcos calls on Filipinos to embrace the national hero's values of love of country, truth, and commitment to national progress. For her part, VP Sara Duterte urges Filipinos to remember Rizal's courage amid oppression. And VP Sara Duterte could face a fourth impeachment complaint when Congress resumes in January. House Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro says the complaint is still under review by the House Legal Department. It involves Duterte's alleged misuse of confidential funds amounting to 612.5 million pesos. And joining us today from the Philippine Star, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan. Ami, magandang hapon.
Hi. Happy Monday,
Happy
ha?
Monday.
At hindi pa New Year. Bukas pa yung yung Happy New Year natin. Bukas pa.
Wala yung partner ko eh. Nasa Pampanga ata kasama si Cardinal David.
Oo. Nagpa-fiesta.
Oo.
Baka may mga fiesta ron.
Naisahan tayo dun
Oo.
Oy, teka. Okay, finally napirmahan na. Pero in Samba, does it resolve any of the constitutional issues? Teka ha, let's go to the numbers again.
Ito, sasabihin ko ha.
Sige.
Tinanggal na line item dito, 194 billion.
Yeah.
26 billion sa DPWH.
Yep.
Pero magkano yung dinagdag sa DPWH from the NEP, yung National Expenditure Program, na under the Constitution, hindi mo pwedeng dagdagan. Ang dinagdag doon, 288.6 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So, gasino lang yan natanggal na yan, 26 billion. Tapos, yung unprogrammed appropriations, tinanggalan daw ng 168 billion. Kaya lang, ang dinagdag na naman from the NEP is 450 billion. No? So, from 281 billion na proposed ng executive under the National Expenditure Program, lumobo yan ng 731 billion. Yun pong unprogrammed appropriations, yun yung bagong pork barrel ng Congress na mukhang sasampayan. It will be challenged before the Supreme Court. May mga grupo na akong alam na naghahanda ng challenge.
Ami, could you go to the numbers again? So yung inapprove ng BICAM na unprogrammed was how much versus how much was finally signed by the President unprogrammed?
Ang NEP na proposed was only 281 billion.
Okay.
Lumobo siya after the BICAM to 731 billion. So dagdag yon na 450 billion. Ang vinito line item ni President Marcos was only 168 billion.
Okay, so
wala pang kalahati nung dinagdag ng BICAM. Yan. Kaya nga, ang total niya na binito was only 194 billion line items. So tingnan nyo 194 billion. Yung kinat ng BICAM from the DSWD was 86 billion. From the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation na subsidy daw, kaya ayaw na nilang bigyan, 74 billion. Mm-hmm. Doon sa Department of Education, of course, 12 billion yung tinanggal na nirereklamo ni Sani Angara. Hindi ko alam kung ni-restore yan. Iniintay ko pa yung detalye.
Hindi siya pwede i-restore, Bok. I suppose the President...
magsusupplemental budget daw, di ba? Hindi ko alam Wala pa ako nung Pero kung a-add mo yung mga yon, kulang pa rin yun dun sa Di ba? 86, 74, 12 billion. Ang na-veto lang is only 194 billion. Kaya marami-rami pa rin yan na dinagdag sa NEP na unconstitutional dapat yun na sinasabi ng mga kritika. Under the Constitution, you can cut but you cannot add to what is proposed by Malacanang under the National Expenditure Program. So inaasahan natin na magkakaroon niya ng challenge before the Supreme Court.
As well, walang mention kung may na-veto dun sa dagdag pondo, dagdag budget, for example, sa Kongreso. Kasi
Yes.
the BICAM increased
Oo nga, yan.
the House's budget by 17.3 billion. Additional yan, dun sa BICAM report. Walang balita kung binito rin yan, nag-line veto dyan. As well, the Senate by 1.1 billion, the OP, Office of the President, by 5.4 billion. D&D by 8.8
Ang
billion.
nadagdag lang, yung AKAP, yung ayuda para sa kapos, ang kita, no, yung AKAP lang, naging conditional yung implementation. Remember, sinabi ni Senator Grace po na naging controversial, 21 billion daw yung inalat under AKAP for the House of Representatives at 5 billion for the Senate. Na sinabi naman ng DSWD, wala namang pakialam dyan ng mga politiko.
But it's always been conditional. AKAP has, technically, let me rephrase that. Technically, it has always been conditional. As far back as Memorandum Circular number 4 ng DSWD of 2024, may condition parati yan. So it's not new when they say na it's now conditional. I suppose what would be new, if at all, would be if gagawing politics free.
Dinagdag ngayon sa pag-approve nung or
NEDA,
pag-review siguro ng disbursement ang NEDA, National Economic and Development Authority, para lang daw siguraduhin na yung pagpupuntahan ng pondo at saka yung objective ng pag-release ng pera sumusunod dun sa AKAP law.
Okay,
Yan ang nadagdag dyan
let's
sa
see about
AKAP.
that. Pero Bok, no mention of AIX. I'm
Wala.
wondering kung anong nangyari sa AIX for 2025. Kasi that's another...
Although baka wala pa lang kaming detalye. Baka ikaw meron ka ng detalye. Wala pa kaming detalye masyado.
Kumakaway-kaway. Teka. Sige. Bok, let's bring in our mobile journalist, Julie Baisa. Andiyan na ba siya? Wala pa ata. Sige. Let's andiyan na. Julie Baisa. Julie, are you there?
Yes, Bok, Miss Ami.
Hi, Julie.
Hello po. Balikan ko lang yung sinasabi kanina sa DepEd, kung ano yung nangyari doon sa tinapyas na 10 billion pesos na nirereklamo ni Sec Sani. Ang sabi ng DBM kanina, since hindi nga daw pwedeng magdagdag under the Constitution, ng pondo, ang pwede lang gawin ay magtapyas, hahabulin nila sa execution daw. So mula daw dun sa mga standby funds natin, bibigyan nila para makompleto or mabigyan ng pondo itong computerization program. Doon naman po sa conditional implementation, yes, tama, dinagdag lang din po talaga na kailangan kasama na yung DSWD, DOLE, at saka yung NEDA sa implementation para daw hindi pa ulit-ulit yung mga benepisyaryo na makakakuha. Kasi parang ngayon ang nangyayari, medyo hindi daw na-monitor yung implementation ng programa. And no mention of AIX so far.
Julie, when you say no mention of AIX, do you mean AIX was not mentioned in the budget or it was just not mentioned in the press conference? Those are two different things.
Hindi pa po na-mention sa press con and wala pa kasi kaming kopya even yung veto message kasi hindi pa rin inilalabas. So hindi pa natin masinsin kung ano yung mga nabawasan or kung ano yung mga nadagdagan under sa 2025 GAA.
Yeah. Well, I ask about AIX kasi syempre everybody is focused on AKAP, right? And rightly so.
Yes.
Because it's become at least to some quarters, to many quarters, it become like a pork barrel of sorts. But some people have not realized na AIX has also become a pork barrel of sorts for several years now. May mga legislators na na paboritong pondo yung AIX. Nagpapamunmud sila ng AIX for several years now. So, I'm wondering din kung may ganun, that's what we have to find out later on. I'm wondering din kung merong nangyaring pagtsatsani doon sa AIX o doon lamang sa AKAP.
So far yung conditional kasi AKAP at saka pamana lang yung mga under DSWD na programs.
Okay. Okay. Bok, tapos, partly, like Ami pointed out, there are still some questions that have to be addressed dun sa constitutionality. I don't know if they've been addressed in the press conference. Number one being, the Constitution bars Congress from increasing appropriations beyond that proposed by Malacanang in the NEP. Although nagbawas yung Malacanang ngayon ng 194 billion doon sa
Yes.
final budget, yung mga in-increase naman niya doon sa sa BICAM,
Ang lalaki.
lagpas pa dyan.
Ang
sa
lalaki, naiwan
194.
pa rin. Especially yung unprogrammed appropriations.
Oo.
Pero
Pork barrel
technically
nila.
nga po, ang nabawas ay hindi 194 Kasi yung 26 lang, since unprogram nga po nang galing
Yeah,
yung 168.
Yeah.
So technically talagang 26
26 na
lang
DPWH.
yung nabawas from the original budget. Pero kanina natanong na nga rin po kay ES Bersamin yung possible na mga question nga doon sa legality. Ang sabi niya, confident daw sila na sumunod sila sa legal yung naging pagbabago nga dito sa pondo. Pero ang aminado sila na hindi nga mapipigilan and there will be challenges nga na possible na dumating, hindi naman nga daw mapiprevent. Pero sabi pa niya kanina, and I quote, that our efforts will be validated by any kind of lack of challenge. So parang hindi daw nila ina-encourage yung any challenge at this point. Pero ayun, umaasa, but again, confident na kayang, kumbaga, ma-defend.
Pero Bok, confidence is one thing. Confident about their argument is one thing. But what was
Yes.
their argument to begin with? You can be confident and not present your argument. What was their argument?
Siguro confident sila na wala tayong magagawa mga taong bayan, ano? Kasi hindi mo
Ikaw,
naman
Ami,
mai-impeach siya. Hindi mo mai-impeach yung mga senador at congressman, eh. Sila yung kine-question mo, di ba? Ang pwede mong i-impeach dyan for signing a flawed
Sila ang pwede mong
budget
impeach.
is the president na hindi naman i-impeach ng mga kaalyado niya sa House.
For example, to Ami's point kanina.
Kaya wala yan, eh. Ano pa magagawa natin?
For example, Bok, to Ami's point kanina, di ba? Ang laki ng increase. Nagbuwas ng 26 billion sa DPWH dito sa final. Pero ang inakyat ng DPWH dun sa BICAM, 288 billion eh. Binabalang 26
Yes.
billion. So you're looking at 262
Kaya
billion na net pa rin.
Ibinabalang nila below para masabi lang na yung education sector mas mataas pa rin
Tumaas.
sa DPWH. Ganun lang.
Did they present any argument along to address those questions dun sa increasing the budget beyond what was proposed in the NEP?
Actually, hindi nga sininsin kanina, nakuha na lang namin yung
confident nga sila.
yung breakdown right after. So noon lang din namin nakita yung comparison kung magkano yung nasa NEP and sa BICAM and magkano nga yung after the veto. Actually, hindi lang naman nung titingnan ko, hindi lang naman yung DPWH yung tumaas, pero maliliit na amount lang. For example, yung sa justice from 40.6 to 42.2 sa BICAM. Pero, and then, iyon na yung nasa final version. So, mga maliliit na adjustments yung ginawa doon sa top 10 na pinakamalalaki nakakuha ng pondo under 2025 GAA.
Pero Julie, meron din malalaki like yung Kongreso, yung House, inakyat ng BICAM
Yes.
by 17.3 billion. By hindi total. By 17.3 billion. Ang OP by 5.4 billion. Ang
Yes.
DND by
Pero
8.8. DPWH by 288 billion. Yun ang mga inakyat ng BICAM.
Bok, yung sa OP, inexplain din kanina na pupondohan daw natin yung pag-host natin ng ASEAN. Kasi
Okay.
apparently, supposedly, Myanmar daw yung mag-host, pero natatakot daw yung world leaders na pumunta ng Myanmar. So, ang kasunod daw, since alphabetical, ay Philippines na. And inako nga ng presidente yung hosting. So, kailangan daw habulin ngayon yung preparation. Kaya under 2025 budget, kailangang mapondohan kahit papaano itong ASEAN. Pero next year, asahan daw na mas malaki pa yung hihilingin nilang pondo for that.
5 billion.
Pag Julie, dahil kinasa ng Malacanang, dapat taasan din ng Kongreso. Ganun ba yun?
May 17.3 billion.
Oo. Kaya kailangan, equal sharing, meron ba kayong na-interview na member ng BICAM, Julie? Para lang i-address tong mga criticism ng ano, kasi medyo lumalakas yung mga protesta ng mga tao.
Ang humarap lang po kasi talaga kanina sa amin, economic managers, and basically to explain lang talaga yung ano, yung mga naging, yung na-veto ng Pangulo. So hindi rin humarap kanina, although nandoon of course, sina Senate President, nandiyan din naman sina House Speaker, and marami ding mga kongresista.
Eh syempre maligaya sila, laki na nadagdag sa kanila eh. Si Sani Angara nandun ba?
Parang hindi ko po napansin si Sexani kanina. Wala siya at least nung signing ng Pangulo. Hindi ko alam kung nasa baba.
Pero umattend ba mga lahat ng senators? Well, of course, hindi. Marami hindi pupunta dyan. Yung mga tao nila, Duterte for example. Pero I mean yung administration senators, umattend ba?
Ang nandiyan po kanina, of course, si SP Soto, si Senator Grace po. I think Senator Amy Marcos wasn't there.
Okay.
Iyon po yung mga... wait, babalikan ko po isa-isa yung mga napansin natin. Well, ang nakita ko kasi kung sino lang din po yung umakyat to witness, kasi medyo madaming tao kanina, no? So yun, CABSEC, si DOF Secretary, actually sa Senate, si SP and si Senator Grace po lang. Sa Congress, Kimbo, Sandro Marcos of course, si House Speaker.
Okay. Pero marami-rami yan nakikita kong... yan nga lang ang tanong dyan, Ede. Ano pa magagawa natin ngayon? Sige nga. Di ba? If it's a violation of the Constitution, what can you do about it? If it goes to the Supreme Court, siguro bago matapos yan sa Supreme Court, tapos na itong Kongreso ngayon. Diba?
That's 2 budgets from now pa yun. Tapos sa Supreme Court.
Oo, hindi ba? Kaya nga kaya yung impunity, no?
Julie, one more question.
Pwede siyang i-challenge ngayon para lang hindi siya maulit next year.
Julie, one more question
Diba?
on the constitutionality question. So I suppose by the arguments presented today by Malacanang in signing and approving the budget, that they agree with the congressional interpretation na the education sector is what should get the highest appropriation, not the education department. I'm asking that kasi,
Yes.
di ba, obviously the education department is not getting as much as DPWH, obviously.
Yes.
But the argument presented by several congressmen last week was that you should look at it as a sector and not as a department. And with that argument daw, lumalamang ng bahagya ang education sector versus ang public works sector.
Actually, Buk, yan nga din yung pinopoint out kanina na kapag sinabing education sector, hindi lang naman DepEd daw yun. Nandiyan naman din daw yung CHED na nakakuha ng pondo. So by sector nga nila pinipresent yung
So inugat ng Malacanang yun?
Budget. Yes. Yun yung explanation nila kanina.
Although the Constitution does not say whether it's a sector or department, it just says education should get the highest priority. So that can be argued back and forth by lawyers forever in secula seculorum.
Kasi kung gagawin mo yung sector, kung public work sector yan, Ed, yung DPWH meron ding involvement sa construction, for example, ng schools,
malaki-laki ang ang
ng
budget niya for for
isasama
school
ba nila
construction.
yun?
Sinamata, nilipat nila, binilang ata yung school building construction ng DPWH doon sa education sector.
Kaya nga, hindi ba kadayaan yun? If you're going to talk about sector, hindi ba? Hindi ba? Ginaganyan mo, di ba sector? Halimbawa sa housing, meron ding involvement yung DPWH sa ibang housing project. Idadagdag ba yon sa sector niya? Di ba?
Yeah.
Hindi, maganda lang na dinadiscuss kasi hindi na nga natin mahahabol ngayon eh. At least hindi maulit next year. Di ba kung sakasakali?
Nako, hindi mo ulit next year. Para namang hindi na ulit every year yung
Hindi, kung may order ang although ang Supreme Court may order na sa pork barrel, eto pa rin, meron pa rin tayong program appropriation. Di ba? Baka kailangan ng siguro Tagalogin lahat ng dialect yung order na Supreme Court para magkaintindihan lahat,
Although I also do not recall anybody ever questioning before the Supreme Court yung proclivity ng Congress of increasing the budget proposals ng NEP beyond the NEP, beyond
Ngayon
the
lang
ones
nga
that
siya
we said.
napansin dahil nga dyan sa
Ang laki ng
scrutiny niyang Oo. Dahil dyan sa education, na mas mataas yung DPWH education, at dahil nga sa focus on the confidential and intelligence funds, biglang nagkaroon ng mataas na awareness yung mga tao. Paano niyo bang ginagastos itong mga taxes ko? Di ba? Kaya tinitingnan ngayon yung budgeting at ayan na, kita tuloy.
Ito ba?
Kaya-
Actually,
ayan.
kanina nga din po, hindi din daw hawak yung info tungkol nga dyan sa confidential and intel funds kasi tinatanong nga namin kung tumaas ba or kung magkano. Ang isa pa po palang bumaba actually is yung AFP modernization.
By 5
So,
billion.
Yes.
Binabayan ng BICAM by 5 billion from 40 naging 35. Actually, originally yata 50 pa nga yan eh.
50, yes, 50.
Tapos ginawang 40 ng I think ng chamber tapos ginawang 35. Tama ba? Ng
35 po, yes, 35. From 50 to 35.
Well, actually marami namang binaba eh, pero yun nga eh, the president cannot do anything beyond doing line vetoes eh, at least
Yes.
until he submits a supplemental budget. Just to do a quick recap ito yung mga binawasan na malalaki. Agriculture Department was down by 20 billion sa BICAM, DepEd down by 11.5, DOH down by 25 billion, DOLE down by 18 billion, DSWD down by 95 billion, DOTR down by 16.6 billion. At least that was the BICAM report na before pirmahan ng Pangulo. So we don't know kung ano yung ginalaw dyan. Mukha namang walang ginalaw dyan. Hindi na siya pwede magdagdag.
Wala pong ginalaw sa DOH, DILG, same din ang defense. DSWD same din sa BICAM tsaka sa final.
What do you mean walang ginalaw? Hindi ginalaw yung kinat. Hindi
Yes po,
restore. Hindi siya pwede i-restore kasi.
Hindi siya pwedeng i-restore. Hindi rin po binawasan sa final version.
Hindi ka na pwede mag-negative veto eh.
Sobra naman yun kung babawasan pa rin.
Double.
Okay. Tapos,
Wala namang problema, Ed, yung mga siguro normal na magbawas ka kung saan-saan. Ang pinoproblema lang naman, nagbawas sa mga ganyan, biglang tumaas yung appropriation sa House saka sa Senate.
oh yeah.
Saka doon sa unprogrammed appropriation. I mean, ang pinag-uusapan yung priorities, hindi ba?
Yes.
And
So, tumaas yung pork barrel, tumaas yung budget ng House at Senate, at tumaas yung DPWH.
And Bok, if I remember correctly,
Ayan.
I think for peace was cut by how many billion? Malaki-laki ang tinapya sa 4Ps eh, for next year.
Yes.
I think 50 billion eh, but I have to check
Pupuno nga naman daw nila ng ayuda sa eleksyon.
It faced at least before this signing a 50 billion reduction after the BICAM report.
Pag lalo naghirap, meron naman daw silang ayudang ipamimigay yung mga politiko. I'm telling you the truth. Under AKAP and AICS, yun eh.
Because 4Ps is already
That's for the poorest of the poor eh.
Yeah. And
Kapag
also,
naubusan ka ng pondo doon sa conditional cash transfer, ayun yung hike sa kayong ano. Pero kailangan may mag-aabot na politiko. O yan ang nangyari sa budget natin.
and 4Ps kasi Bok is already in a way depoliticized eh, kasi identified na
It's
beneficiaries
depoliticized.
niyan.
Kaya nga ayaw nila.
And rekta yan sa ATM ng mga
ATM.
4Ps beneficiaries eh. Hindi dumadaan sa politiko hindi na yan dumadaan sa mga politiko dapat
Kaya nga. Kaya ayaw ng politiko.
So,
Di ba?
yun.
Kaya binawasan ng bilyon-bilyon.
Okay.
Nakikita nyo? Nakikita
Happy New
nyo?
Year.
At least, Happy New Year talaga. Happy New Year sila. Yung mga taxpayer, hindi. Hindi happy.
Okay. Ano Bok, may habol pa kay Julie Baisa? Papakulan natin.
Okay na, Julie. Hindi daw sila naka-ambush ng mga BICAM na masisisi sana. Ano kung sakasakali.
si ES lang po yung ganado magsalita kanina eh.
Hindi siya gumawa nun eh. Pwede siyang hugas kamay eh. Pwede siya hugas kamay. Pwede siya magsalita.
Okay. Maraming
Siya yung
salamat.
lightning rod. Siya yung lightning rod. Thank you, Julie. Happy New
Julie
Year.
Baisa, thank
Happy
you very
New
much.
Year!
Sana hindi ka nawigwang sa mga numero.
Buti na lang, may konti pa tayo nalalaman sa map, ano, Ed? 1 plus 1 equals 2 lang yan. Dagdag bawas lang yan.
Oo,
Tingnan,
ang kailangan mo lang dito, ang kailangan mo lang mat naman dito sa mga numbers na to, greater than or less than.
Oo, dagdag bawas lang, dagdag bawas. Makikita mo lang yung priority, di
Hindi mo
ba?
naman kailangan ng trigonometry.
Oo, kaya
Kung may
nga.
trigger, ako, iiyos na ako yan. But anyway.
Kaya madaling intindihan. Ang problema lang, how do you communicate to the public? No,
And
mga
how do you
masa na
interest them?
Ano yung ginagawa sa pera ninyo? Dahil lahat tayo nagbabayad ng tax. Through the consumption taxes, value-added tax, 12% tax sa gasolina, pati gasolina ng tricycle, yung presyo ng gasolina, 12% ng presyo niya napupunta sa gobyerno. Yun yung mga yun yung napupunta dyan sa national budget natin. Kailangan merong mag-explain ng gano'n eh. Bawat sigarilyo bawat gin nyo, merong excise tax na napupunta sa gobyerno.
Oo,
na dapat
masakit yun ha.
inaayos ang paggastos.
Oo, masakit yun para sa amin.
Kaya nga, yun yung mga yung mga 4 kantos na yan. Lahat yan, yung presyo niyan, may napupunta dyan sa gobyerno na medyo malaki. At in fact, yung kwartang yan dapat napupunta sa healthcare
PhilHealth.
natin.
Oo, sa universal healthcare.
PhilHealth, binawasan.
Actually, tama yun,
Hindi binigyan ng subsidy.
Oo, yung sin taxes na yun should be going to universal healthcare. Under the universal healthcare.
Universal healthcare. And the budget of PhilHealth should be for the implementation of the universal healthcare na hindi nga ma-fully implement, it has to be stretched over 5 years dahil kulang ng pondo. Yan ang impact niya, ang kakulangan ng kwarta sa mga pondo natin.
Okay, sige. Ami, teka, tama muna. Nagkaka-mental health issues na ako sa...
New Year, sama ano.
Mag-gap nga muna tayo. Pabrena muna. Gap muna tayo. You're watching Star Con 1 News. You just need to take a break. We'll be right back.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Turbulence characterized Jimmy Carter's presidency. Soaring interest rates, inflation, long lines at service stations, the Iran hostage crisis. Yet for all the challenges in Washington,
I have been blessed by graduating from the White House at an early age.
his post-presidential career soared. For decades, a tireless peacemaker, a humanitarian, the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Nothing that I do is sacrificial.
Jimmy Carter was born in Plains, Georgia. He joined the U.S. Navy in the 1940s. He later returned to Plains to run the family's peanut business. He ran for Georgia governor in 1970 and won. 6 years on, he entered national politics.
I look forward to working with President Ford and others like him who, even though divided by partisan affiliation, are united by a common devotion to this country.
After the Watergate scandal, Carter unseated Gerald Ford, who'd pardoned Richard Nixon. The nation's 39th president, he'd soon run into political headwinds. His energy plan floundered. An Arab oil embargo caused gas lines and runaway inflation. Carter claimed a crisis of confidence.
The erosion of our confidence in the future is threatening to destroy the social and the political fabric of America.
It was tough to recover, but overseas he scored a major coup, getting Israel and Egypt to make peace at Camp David. But the Middle East overshadowed his re-election campaign after hostages were seized at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Negotiations went nowhere. A rescue mission crashed and burned in the Iranian desert.
There was no fighting, there was no combat. But to my deep regret, 8 of the crewmen of the 2 aircraft which collided were killed.
And will to the best of my ability.
Ronald Reagan denied Jimmy Carter a second term in office. Yet his departure was hardly retirement. He founded the Carter Center in Atlanta. He helped oversee democratic elections in Nepal, Nicaragua, and other countries. He led an effort to eradicate guinea worm disease in Africa. In 2002, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. Ever the outsider, he was never shy about sharing his views. He denounced the Iraq War and criticized Israel's treatment of Palestinians. He always told Americans, "I'll never lie to you. In 2015, he was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma, a type of skin cancer. His father, brother, and 2 sisters had all died of pancreatic cancer.
You know, I've had a wonderful life. I've had thousands of friends, and I've had an exciting and adventurous and gratifying existence.
Months on,
When I went this week, they didn't find any cancer at all. So
remission. He stayed active,
praising God is praising God for who God is.
teaching Sunday school in his hometown of Plains and helping build homes for the poor. His wife, Rosalind Carter, for more than 70 years, never far from his side.
I've said many times, that very truthfully, the best thing ever had happened in my life was when she said she would marry me, and did.
The nation's oldest living president, Jimmy Carter, leaves a legacy of peacemaking, humanitarianism, and democracy. Alex Sands, The Associated Press.
In the world where everyone doubts and when it became a trend to criticize journalism, it's very important to support it with milestones like this.
Donald Trump's rally has just been evacuated after shots rung out from the crowd.
Joe Biden is out, Kamala Harris is in.
Israeli warplanes are striking targets across southern and eastern Lebanon. It's been a dramatic evening in Israel, with Iran launching nearly 200 missiles into the country.
Tonight, with all of you here, is about ensuring that October 7th is remembered forever.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for.
Lebanon woke up to calm and celebratory gunfire after a U.S. brokered ceasefire proposal deal went into effect.
We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to the Story Conference or StoryCon. I'm Ed Lingao, and of course with us, Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star from Parañaque City. Ami, let's bring in our guest from the DBM. Welcome to the StoryCon, Assistant Secretary Mary Ann de la Vega. ASEC de la Vega is from the DBM's Budget Preparation and Execution Group. Ma'am, magandang hapon and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Thank you.
ASEC.
Good afternoon po.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon po yung lahat.
Good afternoon po. Ma'am, let me start off with this. Of course, I understand, nagputol yung, nagbawas ang Pangulo dun sa final budget ng 26 billion from DPWH and 100 plus billion sa unprogrammed budget. Pero yung binawas na yun sa, for example, DPWH, it's minuscule compared to yung inakyat ng ng BICAM committee na 288 billion. So I'm wondering, basically it's 262 billion pa ang natira doon sinakatang ng BICAM. So is the President saying na okay lang inakat ng BICAM na 262 billion? Pasado sa kanya yon at he didn't find anything wrong with that?
Tama po kayo, sir. Meron pong naka-direct veto from the 288 na inakyat ng budget ng DPWH. Direct veto. So, ang effect po nung 26 billion na yon as if non-existing siya. So, bawas siya from the total budget ng DPWH.
Yes, ma'am.
Yung pong naiiwan pa, ang karamihan po doon, base po sa aming pag-review ulit dahil sinabi po ng Pangulo na i-repaso ulit yung pong ipinasa sa BICAM. Marami po doon ang kakailanganin pa natin gawin, pero ito po ay isa subject din po siya sa conditional na implementation. Meaning, in-state po siya kasi malaki po ang magiging epekto noon. Hindi po natin mapapayagan na mawala yung 200 plus. Malaki ang epekto noon sa ating ekonomiya at sa mga naiiwan pang gagawin ng DPWH. So, yung pong mga amount na yon, yun po yung isa subject naman po sa conditional implementation. So, covered po yun ng mga, nabanggit din po kanina, ng mga guidelines na i-issue para po siguraduhin na magiging tama po yung pag-implement ng mga projects na yon.
Pero ma'am, yung perang yan was not in the NEP, if I recall correctly. Dinagdag lang ho yan ng BICAM. So that was not even programmed by Malacanang and DBM originally.
Bale, ang labas po niya, sir, hindi po siya dagdag kasi sinusunod po natin yung zero sum. So, ibig pong sabihin, changes po siya. Adjustment, changes. So, dahil naidagdag ang 288, ibig sabihin, somewhere doon sa budget natin, may mga binawasan. So, yun po yung nakita namin sa mga ginawang pagbabago, mga adjustments na ginawa naman po ng ating Congress.
Pero pwede po ba yung realignment yun eh? Hindi ba, may binabalak ba kayo para hindi maulit yung ganyan? That's not your original budget proposal eh.
Yes, ma'am. Hindi po yun yung original na pagkakabalangkas. Pero yun pong amount involved, yung pong nagstay pa rin naman po doon sa ispinasa ng Presidente sa Kongreso na 6.352 trillion. So,
Pero kung magkakaganyan... Pero ma'am, sorry po kasi alam ko pinaghahandaan niya ng mga agencies ng napakatagal yung mga sarili-sarili nilang proposal. At kung ang gagawa din lang naman pala ng budget nila ay yung Kongreso, di sila na lang gumawa lahat. Napakalaki niya, 288.6 yan eh.
Tama po kayo, Ma'am Ami. Yun lang naman po ay nakasaad din po sa kanilang constitutional power of the purse na pwede po nilang i-review, tignan kung saan po kailangang ilagay yung mga iba-ibang programa ng ahensya, ng bawat agencies. Pero yun pong mga ganyan po, Ma'am Ani, as in, ang mga agencies din po kasi meron din po silang mga ibang mga pakiusap sa ating pong Congress pag nagkakaroon po tayo ng deliberation. So yun pong kanilang mga decisions, base din po sa mga sinusumite ng mga ahensya sa kanila during the deliberation process.
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, I understand po. You talked about the constitutional power of Congress over the purse. But I'm sure you're also familiar yung nire-raise na constitutional issue against the budget, which is yung Article 6, Section 25, that Congress may not increase appropriations recommended by the President for the operation of the government specified in the budget. I suppose the budget proposal yun. In this particular case kasi po, for example, ang DPWH budget went up by 288 billion dun sa BICAM versus yung NEP. yes, binawasan po ng 26. That still gives you a balance of 242 billion over the NEP proposed budget. Hindi ho ba magkakaproblema doon?
Hindi, tama po kayo sir, pero yung sinasabi po natin na hindi po siya pwedeng i-increase kung ano po yung sinumite ng presidente, which is 6.352.
You refer to total?
Yung po, yes, opo, total po ang tinitingnan natin. So yung po mga pagbabagong ginawa nila, kaya nagkaroon ng increase sa DPWH, meron naman pong kabawasan dun sa mga ibang ahensya, saka ibang mga, nagkasama din po kasi doon sa special purpose funds natin. Kaya yun po, ang suma total din po, zero effect din po siya. Kaya po sabi namin, zero sum siya, may binawasan sila, meron pong dinagdagan. Pero ang grand total pa rin po noon, yung sinumuti ng ating presidente is 6.35.
Ma'am, so you're saying, ma'am, kahit magrigo doon ng pera doon po sa loob ng proposed budget, kahit maglipat-lipat at mag-akyat baba among the departments, basta hindi umakyat yung proposed budget total for the next year, that's hewing pa rin with the constitutional provision Article 6.
Yes po, opo. Ganun po siya, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, that's
interesting. Anong wording niyan, Ed? Mukhang... Ano yung wording niyan, Ed?
Basahin ko lang po, ma'am, if you don't mind. Section 25 of Article 6, the Congress may not increase the appropriations. Ma'am, plural po eh. The appropriations recommended by the President for the operation of the government as specified in the budget. The form, content, and manner of preparation of the budget shall be prescribed by law. Yun po. I don't know if that has any bearing, pero it says appropriations po eh. So it's several items.
Opo, ang sinasabi po natin doon sa appropriations, yun po yung agency-specific na appropriations. So yun po yung mga binubuo po yung appropriations na yon ng 3 klase. Yung pong mga nasa bawat ahensya. So tawag po natin doon, yung po yung agency-specific budget or appropriation. And then yung pong mga special purpose funds, mga kasama din po yan sa general appro natin. And then yun din pong automatic appropriations natin. So,
yun po yung tatlo.
Nakapaloob sa 6.3. Opo, yun po yun.
Okay. Ma'am.
So, ang sinasabi niyo po, ma'am, ang interpretation niyo is the total. Yung constitutional provision na yan, ang interpretation niyo dyan, basta yung total na sinubmit ng executive to Congress, basta hindi nagalaw yon, okay lang yon. It will be constitutionally compliant. Yun ang sinasabi niyo.
Opo, ganun po ang application nung nakasaad po sa ating saligang batas. So, ang nakita po namin nung amin pong binusisi yung mga changes na in effect, nakita po namin na nadagdagan yung mga specific department, pero meron din pong may mga bumaba. Pero karamihan ng pagbaba, yung bawat po ay ginawa sa mga special purpose.
Okay, that's an interesting interpretation.
Oo nga eh. Ganun po ba lagi yung interpretation from even before previous congresses na yung total basta hindi binago ng Congress, okay lang na mag-juggle si Kongreso ng per agency. Okay lang yon. Ganun ba lagi yung interpretation natin?
Opo, ganun po ang interpretasyon ng paggawa po nila, ng pag-exercise po nila ng power of the purge.
Okay.
Saka yung interpretation po ng constitutional provision na pinakamalaki dapat ang budget allocation ng education, are we talking about the sector or just the department?
It's the sector po. It's the sector.
Okay, so ano na po yung nangyari ngayon? Ano pong gagawin ngayon dun sa 12 billion na tinanggal sa Department of Education na nirereklamo ni Secretary Sani Angara?
Yun po ang amin na pong inisipan kung paano po natin i-address yung kabawasan dahil kitang-kita po sa kanyang, sa DepEd specifically, na bumaba po siya ng around 11B. So, ang aming pong suggestion kay DepEd po is that they still have some unobligated allotment. So, may mga available pa siyang pondo mula sa 2024 na budget. So, maari po nilang gamitin yon up to the end of 2025. So hanggang December 31, 2025, pwede po nilang magamit yon. Once po sa implementation next year at makita na may kakulangan pa rin po, meron naman po tayong special purpose fund, yung contingent fund na pwede pong pagkuhanan, at yun din pong nasa unprogrammed appropriation na sakaling magkaroon po ng mga excess revenues, yun po pwede rin po tayong kumuha doon.
Ma'am, pahabol na lang. Very quickly po. Kasi under the microscope ngayon ng AKAP at ang sabi ng Pangulo, sige, papasok natin dyan sa AKAP ang DSWD, kasama ang NEDA at saka yung one more, I forget which one eh. Dole. Opo.
Dole.
I understand po. You want to rationalize yung pagbibigay ng ayuda. But let me ask you po about AIX kasi AIX has also been kind of ayuda that's been there for the longest time, for how many years. May AIX po ba doon sa 2025 budget at magkano po ang in-increase niyan compared to, for example, this year?
Ang AIX po, nandoon pa rin po siya. Meron pa rin po, kasi may specifics po tayong mga ina-address doon. So, meron din po siyang kaunti na increase. Aside from, yun nga po, meron pa po tayong nakahiwalay na AKAP. Medyo similar yung kanilang gamit, pero kaya nga po yun yung pinapabantayan ng Pangulo, na magkaroon ng guidelines at magkaroon po talaga ng collaboration yung mga ahensya na yon, si DOLE, si DSWD, si NEDA, para ho maiwasan yung magkaroon ng, at least man lang hindi tayo magkaroon ng overlap between yung AKAP po saka yung pong AIX.
Ma-rationalize po. Ma'am, pero kahit ballpark figure, magkano po yung AIX for next year compared to this year?
I don't have the specific figure now, sir, pero it's basically higher ng konti doon sa ating 2024, actually.
Kasi we're looking at AKAP at 26 billion, I think, for next year. Hindi ata binago yun eh. Ganun ba yung AIX, mga ganun?
Opo, hindi po yun binago. Hindi po siya binawasan. Medyo bumaba lang po siya ng konti.
Ma'am, sorry.
Kasi mas mataas po yung last year. Nahanap ko yung specific ng AIX, but it's still parang konti lang po yung difference. Almost same level as 2020.
Sorry ma'am, huling na talaga before I let you go. I understand po AKAP needs to be rationalized, pero paano yung in-announce dati ni Senator Grace po na 21 billion ng AKAP ay sa Kongreso at 5 billion sa Senado. Paano po ang pagkakabanggit niyan sa budget ngayon? How was that appropriated per chamber in the budget?
Bali po ang AKAP po ay isang specific line item na project na nakapaloob po sa DSWD. So one-liner po siya, nakapaloob po yon sa agency-specific budget sa DSWD. So hindi po, wala hong nakalagay doon na kung ano po yung from the Congress or from the Senate. Wala pong ganoon. Kaya nga po, nilagay po natin sa special provision at nasa conditional implementation po ng sa veto message ng Presidente na kailangang tignan at at least mag-draft ng guidelines para po maipatupad yung AKAP.
Okay. Salamat po. Ami, sorry, I think we have to let her go kasi we're going over time. But thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am, maraming salamat.
Thank you, Asek.
Mary
Happy New Year po.
Happy New Year po.
Thank you po. Happy New Year.
Thank you, ma'am. Maraming salamat din aming pamituan ng Philippine Star sa Parañaque. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the StoryCon. I'm Ed Linga. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.